I, Yoweri Museveni.
11:34 a.m. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni takes his 7th oath as President of Uganda, which will now stretch his rule to 40 years.
That I will be faithful and bear the true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
Chief Justice Alphonse Owinyidolo, Electoral Commission Chairperson Justice Simon Byabakama, and the Head of Public Service John Mitala administered the oath.
The instruments of power.
Shortly after, Museveni was handed the instruments of power, including the Constitution, national flag, anthem, and the instruments of the national defense, among others. 11 African heads of state, Vice President Edward Chwanuka II, former Prime Minister John Patrick Amama Mbabazi, religious and cultural leaders witnessed the swearing-in. Despite the attendance of former presidential candidates John Katumba and Fred Mwesigye, no recognition was made of their presence. In his first address, Museveni launched a direct attack against Western powers, whom he accused of undermining African democracy. For Museveni, it is the regional and continental unity of Africa that will safeguard Africa from Western interference and lectures.
Therefore, quite comic and laughable to hear of some actors in the world giving us lectures about democracy. You give me a lecture about democracy? What are your own credentials? We neither seek nor need any approbation from anybody outside Uganda, except our peers in the African Union and NEPAD. If you want to know what we are doing in a respectful way, we can share with you.
Museveni also revealed a plan he had with former President of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, to confront the French and American forces when they invaded Libya to overthrow Colonel Muammar Gaddafi in 2011.
However, some actors are always in search of enemies. They are looking for enemies. You are not an enemy, they declare you an enemy. When we are still fighting, are you pro-East or pro-West? Idiot, I am pro-Africa. I cannot be here to be pro-others, but not pro myself.
And that's precisely the reason why some of us in NRM fought so hard to amend the Constitution, because in Africa, we are only left with him who believes in Pan-Africanism and the unity of Africa and finding the center of gravity for Africa, for the development of Africa.
About the unity of Africa as a precursor to our strength in terms of market and in terms of our security. So I think the take home here, majorly to all the leaders, is that we should look forward and support areas that can unite Africa.
Uganda has been accused by Western powers, especially the US, of failing to conduct free and fair elections and violating the rights of Ugandans, especially those opposed to the regime. In fact, some top security officers have been sanctioned by the US. Museveni proceeded to call upon Ugandans to move past the concluded elections and get back to work.
Let us get down to work. The 4 economic sectors where there are jobs and wealth are commercial agriculture, emu, with the Chibaro, Chura, Aymar, Otita, counting profitability, industries, services, and ICT.
Without giving an account of the promises he made when he swore in 5 years ago, the president focused on economic recovery and poverty eradication programs initiated by his government.
The level of poverty in Uganda is so high. So what the president needs to do is to focus on projects that reduce poverty in the population, and especially the youth who are unemployed. We need to create jobs for this youth.
So we need the president to put up policies that are going to attract foreign investors and local investors that are going to set up industries, and those industries will end up employing our young people graduate from university. Also to focus on the Youth Capital Venture Fund.
We have done much in roads, we have done much in education. We now need to focus on empowering people to have money in their hands, and they should be able to afford the basic needs.
Of course, there are sectors which drive the economic growth. A sector like for energy. So energy for rural transformation is what we are really going to focus on.
A center of political and strategic gravity for the African race is what Museveni has called it, as he advocated for the regional and continental integration of Africa for bigger markets and also the common market of the African continent. HERBERT ZZIWA NTV here at Kololo.